here. Welcome to Unfinished Friday. For those of you that are new, the unfinished part comes from a joke that I made about my office here, my unfinished office, and it is unfinished just like me. We're all trying to learn and grow, and if you're not trying to learn and grow, then you're gonna die. Um, it's just that blunt. And we all know that. I think I'm probably preaching to the choir here. But today, what I like to do is I bring on people that are way smarter than me, and then I get to learn from them, and then you all can learn from them too. So I asked Lynette to speak to us. Lynette is gosh, I've known Lynette for quite a while. We've networked and we've known each other, and Lynette is just someone who, no matter what is going on, and she may share a little bit about this today, but no matter what is going on, she always is smiling, and she's always encouraging, and she's always a cheerleader, and she's always got something going on.
That's the truth.
So Lynette, I'm going to turn it over to you, and take it away. You've got about 10 minutes.
Okay, it's a good thing I talk fast. Turn your ears up, guys. Turn your ears up to listen fast, because I talk fast, because I got a lot of stuff for 10 minutes. So yeah, Aaron, he said I could have gotten out of this, but I needed the break today. So I'm sporting a Bryan Hospital that I'm actually calling you from a conference room at Bryan Hospital right now. As of last night, I had spent 24 out of the last 48 hours at Bryan here with my son. Aaron, you know how that goes when you're battling stuff, trying to do your business and manage health issues with your kids. So I just said, okay, health professionals, I've got a hard stop from 10:15 to 10:30 because I have to escape in some way. So that's been able to give out and share with you guys. So, and I don't even remember totally what my title was. All I know is here's what makes me qualified to talk about what I'm talking about today. I have been self-employed or on straight commission since 1989. And I've been very successful at doing that. And I've learned so much myself about how to be a successful entrepreneur. I've learned a lot from watching and observing other people. A smart person is going to learn from other people and have mentors. And I've also learned that in my experience with Heartland the last 5.5 years, which is how a lot of you know me. But I have a whole lot of other life that I've lived other than 5.5 years, because I'm older than 5.5 years at Heartland. So I really just wanted to share some things that I see that entrepreneurs could improve on, do differently, that I see kind of mistakes that they make or things that they don't do that would make a huge difference on their success. And I've actually have created a coaching business along this line, and have created a program called the Chaos to Boss Blueprint, getting into more details and digging into the weeds a lot more than I can do in 10 minutes, or now probably 7. So I'll get right into it. So here's 3 things that I notice entrepreneurs don't do. They get so busy working in the business, they're not working on the business. Make sense? So you're doing the day-to-day stuff, you're answering the emails, you're working. A lot of times people are working in urgent mode rather than important mode. They're not taking time to step back, evaluate, what do I need to do differently? What can I change? What can I improve? They're not taking time at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, even sometimes at the end of the week to say, okay. And someone told me, I heard a quote once, and someone said, sometimes you need to slow down to speed up. And this is really what entrepreneurs need to do. And so what I've found to be very effective is that every quarter, every month, every week, I stop and say, what went well this week? What do I need to change? What do I need to tweak? What are my goals this week? And what do I need to do to get there? Because if you're not proactive that way, you're just in this hamster wheel and then wondering why you're not getting anywhere. Okay, that's point number 1. Then that kind of goes along with point number 2 is most entrepreneurs don't plan. It's just like, okay, what's on the urgent list today? What's the email say I have to do? What's demanding of my time? And I'm super anal about this, and not because I'm all that detail organized. It's because I have an ADD spaghetti brain. And the only way that I could learn to be successful when I had my Mary Kay business and raising kids, and now juggling all the stuff I do with my son's health and Heartland and building a coaching business, the only way I could keep myself on track and not be a freaking lunatic and be in the hospital myself for different reasons is because I have to be anal about my planning. I have to focus on what are my goals, what do I need to do for the day, and then I plot that out for the day and I follow the plan. Because if you also follow the plan, then you're working in your zone, in your really strength zone, and not thinking about what's the next thing I have to do. And it also, I noticed, released a lot of stress at me, because if I've got everybody coming at me with this and this, with kids and school and work and this, if it's all coming at me, I get so overwhelmed and I get so stressed. So I had to say, whoa, hold on, stop. I'll write it down and I'll put it on the plan. Then I work from the inside out and execute the plan. The third thing I've got, ooh, I'm doing pretty good on time. See, I'm talking fast. Then we'll open up to questions. The third thing is that entrepreneurs do not do that they really should, is they don't delegate. They don't delegate. And sometimes it's because sometimes they're, and I'm saying myself as one of those, sometimes they're control freaks. They don't think anybody could do it as well as they can. Or they don't want to spend the money to hire someone else to do that. Or they, I don't know, they just, there's some, bluntly, there's some sort of ego involved in why you think you have to do it all. The best piece of advice I ever got was one of the very first mentors that I had back when I first got into sales in 1988. And he said, do what you do best and hire everybody else to do the rest. And I've always, always lived by that motto. And there were times I would have arguments with family and with in-laws and all sorts of people in my Mary Kay business when I refused to do some of the housework and I refused to do some other stuff. And it's like, I cannot be the executive, the president, the CEO of my business if I'm doing all this other stuff. And the other thing is if I'm in my zone, I was just listening to a Darren Hardy podcast this morning on my walk, is that if you're really in your zone, the super achievers, they stay in that zone and they're horrible at everything else. And usually what someone else's genius zone or thing that they're best at is what you're the worst at. So you're really employing lots of people and helping a lot of people be successful in their livelihoods, in addition to you delegating and getting things off your plate. So, because I'm about thriving businesses and thriving families. And the only way you can have both of those is to be willing to delegate things out and push it off and let other people work in their strength zone instead of you trying to do it all. So those are my 3 tips. Questions?
Wow, Lynette, that was
Whoa,
crazy
dead.
fast. Come on,
Hold on, I got a question. I was
Okay,
just thinking of
here
how
we
to
go.
work.
Here we go. Here we got a question.
Here we go.
So Lynette, how do you balance balance is the wrong word. I'm not a planner. I'm pretty bad at it. I am a fly by the seat of my pants, reactionary type person. How do you go about prioritizing that when your plate is already full?
Good question. I'm actually working with a client right now that's in that same scenario. And it's, a lot of it is like, I don't want to have to write lots of stuff down. I think you have to really think about what, and I was by the seat of my pants person. I used to have lists for my list for my list. And when I was just going crazy because I felt like I was dropping the ball on everything, I think ultimately, Derek, without getting too much into the weeds of the how-tos, you have to establish, really what are your priorities? And are you meeting the goals and objectives you want to in a harmonious type of lifestyle? If you're not, because no one's going to change their habits unless they have a big enough why, and that the pain of change, unless the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. So it gets back to really, what is your why? How willing are you to do that? And it's about creating that planning that works with how you are. Like I have to do it on paper. My client that we're talking about right now that's in React mode, she needs to do it on the computer, and she's doing some stuff on Trello. So, but it's taking the time to sit and evaluate and look at what needs to be done and really mapping it out.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
Lynette,
Yes.
what would be your advice to somebody that would be a procrastinator?
Ooh. What I've learned is if I procrastinate on stuff, it's because it's things that are not in my strength zone and that I really don't feel comfortable doing. So honestly, that's probably what you need to delegate, is because you're procrastinating for one reason or another. So there's a paradigm in your head that's stopping you about that procrastination, or else it's something that it's just a task that you're dreading, that you don't like to do, that you don't feel like you're going to do well. Delegate it out. Okay, so example. My fiance gives me a bad time about cooking, goes, you don't need to go to so much work. And I'm going, Cooking is my joy. That's my stress relief. I will cook all day long. I love it. I love to bake, but don't ask me to clean. Now I had a roommate who loved to clean and she hated to cook. It was a great relationship. Okay.
For we control freaks out there, Lynette.
Yes, Erin.
What is your best tip in being able to ask for help and delegate?
I think it, first of all, look at all the things that you're doing and look at the things that you enjoy doing that bring you joy and that are in your skill set, and look at all the things that are not in your skill set and delegate or dump the rest. That's an oversimplified version, but yeah. It's because, you know, I mean, usually the things that if it's something that you really, really enjoy doing and it's really in your joy zone, I would do that. But if it's something you're just trying to control, there's probably someone who can do it way better than you. And part of it is just learning how to let go and then selecting that right person who probably would honestly maybe do it better than you, but it's maybe, but put some parameters in there that you can feel comfortable with in terms of the inspecting what you expect. Does that make sense? Okay.
Thank you.
We
You're
got time
welcome.
for one more. Lynette, you rocked it.
Thank you.
Thanks
So guys,
so
quick,
much.
can I say one quick thing? Is that okay?
Yeah.
So little tidbit as I am, I've got room for about 3 or 4, maybe one-on-one clients, as far as some coaching to help really dig into the weeds and work with some of the details of this, as well as I do stuff with groups and organizations, whether it's direct sales or sales organizations, whatever. And I just do free one-on-one consultations to see if it's a good fit, if it's something that you think I could help you with. So feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to see what I could do to help you.
Hey, Lynette, if you text me the information you'd like to send out, I
Okay.
will send. I'm going to send out an email with that information. So
Okay.
I'll
I'll do
post it on Facebook, and so if you see it pop up on Facebook, then share it, and I'll get the video up, and let's get it out there. There's some good stuff today, Lynette, and kudos for jumping on and being a rock star even when you've probably been up all night. So
Well, I did get a good night's sleep last night, but it's been a rough week. But and Doug, I appreciate the note. He's what's going on with my son? He's a type 1 diabetic. He was diagnosed beginning of June with Crohn's, and we've just got this constant ongoing abdominal pain that we can't figure out a way to deal with. And we're frequent flyers to the emergency room, and they're tired of seeing us. And so I said, I'm not leaving the hospital today until we have a plan. I'm not a demanding person, but Mama Bear has come out. We will have a plan by the time we leave today, so that we don't have to spend all of our life in the emergency room, and I can get sleep and I can get working on a regular basis and go from there. So thanks, guys. Say a prayer for me today.
yes, we will. We will. All right. Thank you all. Have a great
Thanks,
Friday.
everybody.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Wow.
Bye.
Thanks, Aaron, for hosting.
Bet.